When I was inside, one of the most powerful things that moved me was that I was determined to show society my humanity.
Two and a half years ago, Eugene Youngblood was a participant in the Dream Justice cohort. But today, he's not just an advocate. He's leading Washington's fight for justice.
I think one of the most important things is that from a person who comes from incarceration, from a person who is justice involved, to now be on the side of trying to change policies is really amazing. And the most amazing part is I'm still in contact with people who are inside. One of the things I always tell people is this: I have the luxury of saying that I'm formerly incarcerated. A lot of my friends, a lot of my peers, they're still incarcerated. And we need to make space for their voice and allow for them to speak up on the things that are harmful for them and hurting them right now. And that's what I want to do, is continue to make space for people. Not simply pass the mic, but also make a platform for others to speak for themselves, so that we know the job isn't done. It doesn't end with just my release. It ends when everyone is free, when we can continue to work for and make pathways for so many others.
The Dream Justice cohort isn't just about learning advocacy, it's about building real power. Eugene is proof that knowledge leads to action, and action leads to change.
How I feel when I see the cohort grow, people from where I'm from firmly say that people don't change, they heal. So we really just pushing to make a form of transformation by accepting our healing journey and getting on our healing journey. And what we're doing is making a pathway for others to heal. We all know that hurt people, but not everybody understands that healed people help heal people. And that's what we're trying to do with Dream, is make space for people's healing, make space for their humanity, and allow for them to lead for themselves with their own story to make a real impact. Once the bill passed in 2023, a lot of people rested on their laurels. A lot of people just said, hey, this is okay, we got it done. And I had to remind them, we're not here to get a bill passed. We're here to make a real impact. And to make the real impact, we have to fight for this retroactivity, because that is what's really gonna help people. And that's what we're here doing. We're trying to help people. We're not just trying to get a bill passed.
Now, Eugene is preparing to lead Washington's Day of Empathy, one of the nation's largest days of action for criminal justice reform. The goal? To push lawmakers to finish the job and ensure retroactive relief for those still affected by outdated sentencing laws.
So the Day of Empathy is something that Dream puts on throughout the nation. Several states throughout the nation do Days of Empathy, and we all do it at all these different times, and it's really a big impact, state to state to state to state. Here in Washington specifically, what we do is we go to the Capitol and we get as many people there that we can to use their voice and talk to the policymakers about what they believe is really important policy work. And what we're working on now is the retroactivity to the juvenile points, and also the Emerging Adults Bill, where we're trying to introduce policy that will allow people from, if you were sentenced before your 21st birthday, to have like a second look, so that you can get an opportunity to be free if you meet certain criteria. But right now, as it stands, you can only do that if your crime was committed before your 18th birthday. So we're just trying to bring that equal as we can with the brain science that we talk about, how people, especially young people, deserve a second chance. But in reality, we all know that for most, it's really a first chance.
Eugene knows that winning this fight means building bridges. That means working with communities hit hardest, like Washington's Native American leaders, and reaching across the aisle to legislators who can help make this law a reality.
The reason why it's important to work with different communities is because they're not different communities. We're all the same communities with just different faces and different names. But in actuality, it's the same community, right? We're all a part of this community. Sometimes people get away from that and they start to think that this isn't my community, this doesn't help me, or this doesn't hurt me. We're just trying to bring everybody back to understanding that it affects all of us and that we're all united. And to fight in the fight where we collaborate is so much better than in a fight where we're working against one another, where antagonism exists.